Hi, this is Mark. Welcome to my video. This how-to video is going to teach you how to change the fuel filters on a 2006 GTIse SeaDoo. It's also same procedure for a number of different models and years, but definitely the 2006 GTIse. First thing you need to do is basically take out the compartment that sits in here, which is the sort of the luggage compartment. Then you have to take off this this case here that holds your stuff. And so you see I've already done that, and basically it's riveted in. So they really don't want you to get in here, but what you're trying to do once you pull that off is get to that guy right there. And so this is your fuel tank, and sitting on top of it is the fuel pump, and that fuel pump has a couple of filters in it, and we'll get to those in a minute. But anyway, so that's so what I did to get that off, you can see they have some rivets in here. So you basically just pop off these 4 rivets. You'll need a rivet gun in order to put it back, or if you want to put it back with screws and nuts, that's probably okay too. Okay, so to get on the fuel pump, what you'll need is an 8mm ratchet, and you can see that I put this down in there, that there are screws, and there's a whole ton of them, so you have to get them all out. And then you'll also want to take off this, and be careful because it may be under a little bit of pressure. You'll want to take this guy off right here, your electric to it, and this little hose. Okay, so as you can see, I have these 3 off. This one here just takes a 1/4, just unscrewed that and it came out. This one obviously just pops off. This one here is a little interesting because what you have to do is you have to clamp down here to pop this off because it's under pressure. So you don't take this off, you take it off from here. Right? Okay, so when you pull out the fuel pump assembly itself, you got to be very careful when you pull it out because there are pieces hanging off of it that you don't want to get caught on things. Try to get this out of here. All right. So you can see, and that's what it looks like right there. So when we undid these screws, which took a 8mm end wrench to get those out. I know some of these things have a 10mm, but this is an 8mm. One of the things we had to watch out for was not to drop any of these nuts or bolts into the gas tank itself. That would kind of suck if you did that. So we took them all out individually, put them on here before we actually pulled the unit out itself. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and there's a little bit of a grommet there. So you can see the unit down in here. So what we're after the filters. There's one filter that sits on the bottom of the unit, and that's this unit this filter right here. You can easily see that. And that's the easy one. That's the one that they tell you about. All right, so this one right here. You can easily just pull that off and replace it. However, the more difficult one is actually inside here. And so we're going to go ahead and take this apart to do that. Okay, so to get inside this one, what we have to do is they've got some rivets. See, there's a rivet right up top here, and there's a rivet completely on the opposite side, right there. And you have to pop those rivets out. So we're going to do that. Of course, the way to pop a rivet out is take a drill. It's the right size, and just drill it, and it comes right out. You should have a rivet gun in order to replace the rivets when you undo that. Okay, so first thing you want to do is when you buy the filter, it comes in a little kit like this. You can get this from Amazon. It's like $9. And inside here you have two filters. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. So you have the one that matches the top piece one there. There's this guy. Make sure he matches. That's a perfect fit. But you also have in here another one, a smaller one. The smaller one, which basically goes inside the unit itself. Inside here, you have to take off those rivets to get to it. It goes in here. And this is the one that gets clogged the most often. So people come in here and they clean this and they go, oh well, that's in pretty good shape, and they put their jet ski all back together and they try to run it, and it still kind of acts like it's not getting gas. So, and it's just usually this guy right here that's the problem. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just drill through this rivet right here. You want to be very careful when you're doing this not to bend this float, because you don't want to mess that up. I've got it on the side here where it's not going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my drill, put it right on that rivet, and if you just drill through the rivet, it only takes a second and it pulls it out. See how that is? Now, this whole unit should begin to come out a little bit. Okay, so what I do is I just pull this off and tapped it out, and then when I pulled this out, it took a little bit of a pull. I had this washer was in here, but you can see how dirty that filter is, and that's what's keeping the unit from going fast. So if you look at the outside filter, you'd say, whoa, that's a pretty good looking filter. Probably was replaced not too long ago. This is the one they don't tell you about. Okay, so the key thing to when you're putting this thing back together is you want to make sure, as you put the rivets in, I have one rivet in and the other one I haven't yet put in yet. But when you push this whole thing together, it's spring loaded. So there's a spring right here. You can see that spring. Okay, and then there's a piece that fits in between here and gets on there. So if you push this together and this doesn't line up exactly right, then it won't slide in there. And if it doesn't slide in, then obviously the thing's not going to work. So make sure when you put this together, you get this part up there first before you push this end piece down and put your rivets on. Okay, so we went ahead and screwed down all of these bolts, these nine bolts. Now what we have to do is go ahead and put back on the hoses. So there's this one here which just pops on really. I think I need an extra hand to do that. And then, so there's that one there, and then we'll put this one on here with a 1/4 nut on that. And then we'll also connect the electric to it, like that. Okay. Okay, so you can see I got all these in there, went ahead and connected the gas hose. Now we're going to go ahead and put the lanyard on, which I have right here. We're going to see if we can't get it to... So we're going to go ahead and put the lanyard on and see if we can't get it to start. So when you put that on, you should hear 2 clicks, and you should look down here and you shouldn't see any errors. So that's the sound we want to hear. running pretty good. It wasn't, didn't seem to be choking or anything like it had before, but the real test will be to take it out on the road. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and put this back in here, and we'll put it all back together and we'll give it a test drive. Okay, so I tested it out and it runs great. And here it is. Right there. And just gave it a test run and it's really running great. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my video. Take care.